We begin tonight with the Providence nursing strike. Nearly 2,000 nurses in Portland and Seaside have been on strike this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm Blair Best. While the strike officially ended last night, they are still negotiating a contract, and the nurses union has accused Providence of violating Oregon law. Here's Thomas Schultz.
After Oregon Nurses Association members called upon the Oregon Attorney General's office to investigate Providence's use of replacement nurses, Providence responded Saturday. Officials say they are disappointed ONA expects Providence to close hospitals in Portland and Seaside during a strike, but ONA officials dispute Providence's implication.
Oregon Nurses Association is also not claiming that Providence is forbidden from using replacement workers during the strike.
A 5-day strike involving 1,800 nurses has ended, but union representatives and Providence officials continue to argue over contract negotiations. On Friday, ONA members sent a letter to the Oregon Attorney General asking Ellen Rosenblum to investigate Providence and strikebreakers for breaking the law. They also claim Providence hired nurses from the U.S. Nursing Corporation during the 5-day strike. The union referenced Oregon law stating that no employer shall knowingly utilize any professional strikebreaker to replace an employee involved in a strike or lockout. It also cited another law that makes it a crime to knowingly serve as a strikebreaker.
When Providence uses a company like U.S. Nursing Corp., it's a way to illegally shift the balance in their favor.
On Friday, Providence officials neither confirmed nor denied they hired U.S. Nursing Corporation nurses. But Saturday, they did confirm they hired from the corporation, which provides staffing during labor disputes.
Companies like U.S. Nursing Corporation and Providence are fueled by corporate greed.
Piazza is urging the Attorney General to not allow U.S. Nursing Corporation to operate inside Oregon. But Providence officials say they would not have been able to operate hospitals without replacement nurses from U.S. Nursing Corporation.
It would be incredibly challenging, if not impossible, for us to have sourced 500 nurses to come here within 10 days' notice for this strike.
Portland, Seaside, and home health and hospice nurses initially decided to go on strike for higher wages, more staffing, and more affordable health care. Prior to the strike, Providence officials say they offered nurses a 12% raise in the first year of a proposed contract. In the following 2 years, nurses would have received additional 3% raises. Officials say the contract also included bonuses of up to $2,500 and 30 additional hours of paid time off over 3 years. But nurses say the paid time off doesn't even cover one shift each year. Before the strike, Providence said it would shut down its Portland neonatal ICU and halt all but life or death surgeries. They also advised patients in need of emergency care to seek other hospitals. But the hospital system reopened the NICU and accepted transfers for higher levels of care. They say they cared for 250 patients a day during the strike. Providence Home Health made 2,000 visits to patients during the 5 days. Negotiations have been paused since June 8th. Providence and home health and hospice nurses are scheduled to continue negotiations on Tuesday. There is no time scheduled yet for negotiations with nurses at Portland and Seaside Providence hospitals.
Today, the Senate passed several bills that now head to the governor's desk, including one focused on tenant protections. It caps rent increase at 10%. Under the current Oregon rent stabilization law, annual rent increases are limited to 7 percentage points above inflation. The state's strongest bill to combat extremist activity also passed. Under House Bill 2572, people who engage in conduct as part of a private militia group can face legal consequences. Opponents say this would infringe on rights to freely associate and to bear arms. Now, the bill comes as a response to this type of activity in recent years in both Portland and Salem. And House Bill 2645 is also moving forward. This one makes it easier for police to arrest drug dealers and targets fentanyl specifically. Anyone found with 1 gram or more, or at least 5 individual doses, could be charged with a Class A misdemeanor. Penalties include up to a year in jail and or a fine just over $6,000. Well, let's turn to your weather now. It's been a beautiful weekend so far. Let's bring in Ashley Grams, filling in for Joe Ranieri tonight. And Ashley, what can we expect for the rest of the week?
You're right, Blair. It has been absolutely beautiful. Lots of sun to talk about. And with that comes some nice high summer temperatures, right? Portland today reaching 79 degrees, a little bit chillier on the coast as it usually is 66. The Dow's up there at 88 degrees. But let's take a look around right now. The sun has set, so we're starting to cool down. 68 in Portland and Vancouver, 63 in Hillsborough, just a little bit chillier everywhere else as well. So we're seeing 73 in the Dalles, 59 in Baker City, 62 in Eugene. So we're coming up on those nighttime temperatures. But what you're wondering is, how should I plan my day for tomorrow? Well, it's going to be a little bit of a rinse and repeat for us. We're going to see 81 degrees tomorrow in the metro area. So again, seeing that sun feels a lot like a very great welcome to summer. Now we are officially in that, said goodbye to the rain, and we can expect a fairly dry, beautiful week. I'll have more on that and which areas of our state are the hottest coming up after this.
All right, Ashley, thanks so much. Well, there's a traffic alert if you're in southeast Portland tonight. A sinkhole has formed between the turn lane and the left eastbound lane of Southeast Division at 157th Avenue. Right now, only the right-hand lane is open, so use caution as you travel through that intersection. Well, developing tonight, a man is facing murder charges after being accused of hitting and killing his mother with a baseball bat. This happened Thursday night on Northeast 68th Avenue. Portland police say when they arrived at the home, they found 64-year-old Kathy Green with serious, life-threatening injuries. She was sent to the hospital where she later died. Her 32-year-old son, Austin Green Urich, remained on the scene and was arrested. He now faces several charges, including murder and domestic violence. Now to your international headlines. Tonight there are significant developments out of Russia and what appears to be the biggest challenge to President Vladimir Putin's leadership since Russia invaded Ukraine. The head of the Wagner Group, that's a Russian mercenary operation that's been adding to the Russian military in Ukraine, has apparently ordered forces to return to their bases. We do not know the terms of the deal that appears to have been reached, but we do know that the president of Belarus, a close ally of Putin, has been helping in mediating the two sides. And take a look at this. A bridge that crosses the Yellowstone River in Montana collapsed early Saturday, sending portions of a train carrying hazardous materials into the water. Officials shut down drinking water intakes downstream while they evaluated the incident. Now, according to County Disaster and Emergency Services, the train contained hot asphalt and molten sulfur. Thankfully, there are no reports of any injuries. The cause of the collapse is still under investigation.